Welcome back to Investing with Confidence, talking about the do's and the don'ts of the financial markets. When we talk about the stock market, we talk about, we talk about the financial markets, we are talking about the stock market, options market, futures, Forex, cryptocurrency, and we talk about making smarter investing decisions, which is identifying where the banks and institutions, we call it the smart money, is moving the market. So that's what we want to do as investors, is follow that footprint. And just do what they do. Not do as I say, like what they do. They say, do as I say, not as I do. We want to follow what they are doing to make smart investing decisions. And we do have investing classes at our local academies. So if you're listening to the show, we have academy near you. And these are classes where we teach different strategies on how to get in the markets, especially if you're brand new or if you're just looking to see if you can get a boost out of your trading and investing, how to have different strategies for that. You can text right now. Get your phones ready. If you missed the giveaway in the last section, text the word investing to the number 210-210. That's investing to the number 210-210. When you do that, you're going to get a text back, and you're going to be able to pick a date that works the best on your schedule. So, Al, as I mentioned in that last segment, and you talked about a lot, is identifying where the banks and institutions are buying and selling so that we can trade like them or with them and not against them. Which it comes down to supply and demand at its finest. It's like the law of gravity. If I throw a pen up in the air, it's going to come down. We know that. More buyers in the market, that moves price up. More sellers in the market, that moves price down. So talk a little bit more about how to follow that footprint that the institutions are actually creating on price charts.
Yeah, when you talk about supply and demand and the relationship, really that is a kind of an economic law that you just can't argue against. When there is more supply of something, price is going to go down. When there's more demand, price goes up. In the financial markets, look at demand as being buyers and supply as being sellers. You mentioned earlier, do as I do, not do as I say.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Well,
that's what they are saying.
That's what they're telling you.
Yeah.
You're right. I just kind of reversed it.
You tricked me there, Al.
But actually, that's what I want you. That's what we should be doing. Do as they do, not do as they say. Because when they tell you what they're doing, or when you see what they're doing, it's too late. They've already made their move. They need you to be into something after they're in it, so you help them provide a profit for them. Mm-hmm. And you said something else in that first section I think is important. A lot of people did very well in the bull market, and now they've given a lot of it, if not all of it, back.
Yep.
It's the important thing is not how much you make, it's how much you keep. And a lot of people are waiting to go back to the good old days when everything that they did worked. That may not happen. We may not see those good old days that you had before. So what are you going to do if the strategy you used, if the kind of investing you did has you losing money now? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons people come to these classes, Josh, is because we help them with that. You should use a strategy or have a plan that has strategies that really take into consideration all market conditions. The people that are successful in the markets, they make money in a bull market. You can do the same thing, but then they protect their profits and they make money in a bear market. Now, no one is going to be 100% of this, but you want to have the probabilities in your favor. You want to have the odds in your favor that what you do is going to work for you and work in a way that provides a profit that is worth whatever the risk is.
Yeah, and that brings longevity in the markets, right? I mean, most people, and I think there's a stat out there, I don't know exactly the source here, but there was a third-party research, and 80% of people actually quit within 2 years.
That's correct.
It's because they don't have a consistent strategy that's designed to trade with those banks and follow them.
Yeah, I tell you why. The reason that happens, Josh, is I think the primary reason it happens is they don't know how to manage risk. And to really be a trader or investor to get the greatest benefit out of the markets and to have longevity, you can't lose. You can't have big losses. You have to prevent that, because one of the it's not just the money that you lose, but you lose your confidence and you stop. I met with a guy last week, a very intelligent guy who had done extremely well and then went through what we just talked about. The market turned against him. Mm-hmm. He is now afraid to make a trade. He can't pull the trigger. So he's going to come into the classes. We're going to work with them. And one of the things that we do, one of our goals, is to help people to learn to do this with confidence. Let's regain that confidence, feel comfortable doing this, because you're using a strategy that really covers the three important things. the right price to get into something, to make put a position together, to open a position, the right price to get out to protect your profit, and then as important, if not the most important, is when to get out if you're wrong. Don't ever let a big loss happen. Small losses are okay. Small losses are going to happen, but you're going to have small wins that offset that. And then what you've got left, if you eliminate the big losses, are the potential for big wins.
Yep.
That's how people become successful here.
Yep.
And the people that are truly successful financially in this world have more than one source of income, kind of getting back to how you want to do this section. And it's not a job. A job is one source of income, but on average, that job only provides about 20% of their total income, their total wealth. So it means that they're using something else. And most of those people are using the markets, the financial markets, as a way of doing that. That you can provide a number of different sources of income by using the different markets that we teach in these classes.
Well, you have to have strategies for that. It's not a guarantee, so that's why you need the proper strategy to do that. And I want to talk about some of those strategies coming up here next, but you brought up a couple good points there, Al, that a lot of people are just afraid of the market, which, it's okay. You're kind of trained and conditioned to be afraid. Wall Street and brokers and advisors, they tell you, oh, you shouldn't do this. Remember, hey, Al, you probably remember this. You're just a couple years older than I am.
A few. And
do you remember back in the early 2000s, they had those beautiful commercials? I wish I had some music on here, but just beautiful, nice music. And it was trust your advisor, trust your broker, put your money with us because we're going to take care of you and it's going to be nice retirement. Is that happening for people? It's not.
No.
So there's a disconnect there. And I want to talk about that in the third segment here today, Al, about what's happening with retirement accounts right now, which most people are afraid to even look at their statement. But you know what? Now is time to take charge in those retirement accounts. But you need a step-by-step strategy to do that. You're talking about to follow just simple steps and having a plan and that actually will bring confidence in the financial markets. Online Trading Academy has that. It has a strategy that's designed to teach you and walk you through each step of the process. That way you're not guessing. You're making intelligent decisions in the financial markets. So if you want to learn more about that, we have these investing classes at our local academies. These are live classes. Instructors teaching you different techniques and strategies, and these are classes where we have taught thousands just like you how to make smarter investing decisions. So text right now, get your phones ready. Text right now, text the word investing to the number 210-210. Text investing to the number 210-210. You're going to get a text right back with some dates on there for you. And we'll try to interact via text here. If you like to text, make it easy for you. That way you can pick a date that works the best on your schedule. We have these during the week. We have them on the weekends. We also have these on the evenings. So I know anybody can attend on any type of schedule. So, Al, you're talking about in that last part there, that step-by-step strategy or process. But you really need that process for income strategies. A lot of people are looking. You talked about the successful in the world have multiple sources of income, not multiple jobs. So talk about some of those strategies that might be available in the market to have a potential second source of income.
Yeah, indeed. The interesting thing is there are assets like that are really great for short-term income. You know who's using them?
The institutions.
The institutions.
The banks.
Wall Street
your
is
brokers,
using them.
Advisors.
Even guys like Warren Buffett. People look at Warren Buffett as a long-term buy and hold kind of a guy. Yet he makes about $8 billion a year in one of these short-term income strategies. And the interesting thing is that the firms that you have your money with, they're putting you in basically in just the stock market, and they're telling you to hold on. This is a long-term thing. Don't worry about corrections or crashes. We talk about this every week. But what are they doing with their money? They're not I can guarantee you that traders for Goldman Sachs or Merrill or J.P. Morgan, they are not putting together one long-term portfolio that they hold on to, and they just sit around and watch TV all day. They're trading on a daily basis. So they're doing something different than you with their money. Why is that? Why wouldn't they have you be doing the same thing? And the answer is it's too much work for them, and I can understand that because if you're investing in something that is short-term, and you are an advisor that has maybe 200, 300, 400 clients, it's almost impossible for you to be dealing with those short-term strategies.
Just to clarify something here for our listeners, Al, when you talk about short-term, that a lot of people think short-term is the, quote, day trading.
Correct. Yep.
That's kind of a thing of the past. And by the way, day traders should not be glued to their computer screen. That's why it was so important, as you were talking about earlier, is having that step-by-step process that you don't have to be glued to your computer. Just so our listeners know that short-term does not mean day trading. Quite frankly, I don't know many people that actually day trade. It's just not worth it.
No, and then there's some, but that's fine. Whatever your strategy is, whatever your style is, there is a way of doing that properly. But short-term, basically the reason that people might need something short-term is, number one, maybe you got some emergencies. Maybe you have some kids you want to help put through school. Maybe you're not making enough in your job to pay all the bills and then have some fun. And maybe the most important thing is that after you've paid your bills, you've had some fun, there isn't enough left in the income from your job to put into a bucket for the future. That's your wealth, your retirement bucket, because that is funded by extra money from your income. So if you're looking for additional income, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, there are assets and strategies you can use that are really designed for that. There's three that most of our students use, one of, or sometimes a combination of those. One is the futures market, one is the options market, and one is the foreign exchange market. They can be used in short-term trading environments. And what that means is you need to be able to get into something at the right price and then have it move quick enough to give you a profit on a short-term basis. And again, that's relative. For some people, it may be a week. Some people, it may be a month. But most people are put into something that really is intended as that long-term wealth strategy. It's a buy-in. It's putting a portfolio together. Unfortunately, most people just kind of let it ride then and don't manage it.
You know what that's like, Al? I was just thinking, you're talking about people are being put into strategies that aren't really designed for their goals and objectives. I was going to get a pair of shoes the other day for basketball. That would be like a basketball player going to get a pair of shoes and leaving the store with flip-flops.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Think about that for a
You got
second.
to be really good to play basketball in flip-flops.
Yeah, I know. Some of the people that I know are pretty good, but I tell you what, having flip-flops will not make you better in the NBA.
Yeah.
But Al, you talked a lot about the people that are looking for income strategies. You have to you almost have to do something different than you're told or put in or counseled to do.
Yep.
So people that are looking for extra income strategies and work during the day, these markets are actually open 24 hours a day. Futures is open around the clock, roughly 23, but we'll call it 24 to make it easy.
Close enough.
Forex is open around the clock as well. So that gives people, the everyday public, an opportunity to trade and invest any time of day. To have, I was teaching a class the other night, and they call it, there was a term that the kids are calling it, a side hustle or something like that. But that's what,
side gig.
Yeah, whatever that may be. Well, why not having your money work for you rather than putting your hours into another job, which takes time away from your family, takes time away from the fun things that you want to do? You mentioned that 3-letter F word. It's fun. We will get into the 4-letter F word next, which is radio friendly. But people that are looking to do that, do it more on in my opinion, a midterm basis, so where you can still work and still have an income strategy at night.
Sure.
Or maybe you like to do it in the morning. A lot of people that come to the academy, they say, hey, I got about an hour in the morning. I like to do things. I'm fresh in the morning. So there's different strategies, or what they call different strokes for different folks. But you got to learn what they are, and then basically you have to jump. Sometimes you have to dive in and learn those techniques and strategies. And we have investing classes to introduce you to these different techniques, these different concepts that the smart money is using every single day. But unfortunately, they're not putting you in those same strategies. So come to Online Trading Academy for one of these free classes. Text right now. Text the word investing to the number 210-210. That's investing to the number 210-210 for 2 free tickets. So you can bring a spouse. Almost everybody brings their spouse or significant other. Especially, most people do their finances together.
Sure. It's really important for both of you.
Yeah, it's a great thing for couples to do together. So we see a lot of that. Even people bring their kids in as well. So text the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 free tickets. Coming up next, Al, I do want to talk about those retirement accounts because a lot of people don't want to look at their statement right now. Well, you know what? Now it's time to look at your statement and take charge in that. There's strategies for down markets. So we're going to talk about those down market opportunities with those retirement accounts coming up next. Text the word investing to the number 210-210. We will be right back.